Okay, fantastic. So we are up and running. I want to welcome everybody to our goal setting session. My name is Bill Guyther, and for those of you that don't know me, I reside in North Carolina. I was just talking to my friend Matt Curry that's on here with us tonight. And I said, man, how many years have we been doing this goal setting session at the beginning of the year? And I think we're around 15, 16, 17 years we've been doing this at the first of every year. And the reason that I do it is because I'm very intentional about everything that I try and get done. I've been self-employed most of my adult life. I came from a family business and spun off and became a supplier for the family business, and then I jumped out and learned the art of sales in a couple of different sales positions for many years, and then I got into direct marketing, home-based businesses, and I've authored about 3 or 4 books now, and I'm in the middle of another adventure right now. And so I just consider myself a serial entrepreneur, but everything that I do is very intentional. I don't do anything without knowing where the next step is going. I mean, I always have it planned out 4 or 5 steps ahead on where I'm going. So setting goals has been a huge part of our success. And once I really understood that, the importance of actually setting goals, then I started teaching it. And I taught, to thousands and thousands and thousands of people over the years on how to, intentionally and properly go out and set your goals. And, tonight I'm hooking up a dishwasher in our kitchen, and I'm putting that whole thing together and putting all the fittings on and everything. As I turned the water on, I obviously didn't have the fittings tightened up enough, and water started spraying everywhere and stuff like that. And even though the water was spraying everywhere, the water getting to the dishwasher was sufficient and it was working. It was just leaking and making a mess. And I'm thinking to myself, this is kind of a lot like goal setting, right? I mean, if you do it a little bit, that's better than not doing it at all, right? But if you can master them and really make everything fit properly and make everything work the way it's supposed to, it really cuts your success curve way down. So, being able to really properly set your goals is very important. And I didn't do it for, a long time. I didn't know anything about it till I met somebody that said, this is how you set goals. And I know we all have our own little, goals in the back of our minds and stuff like that. I think everybody has a plan on what they're going to do, where they'd like to be, right? This is my goal. I want to be here, but they don't have the activities in place to get them there. They haven't laid it all out, and mapped it all out like a trip that you would put an address in your GPS and it tells you go exactly here, do this, do that, turn right here, turn left there. If you do all these things, you will arrive at your destination, right? And that's kind of what goal setting is. You begin with the end in mind, and then you work backwards and you get that direction, right? You know exactly what you need to do in order to get to that destination that you're trying to get to. So, today is January the 1st, so it was a perfect day for us to do this goal setting session. We always try and do it as close to the first as possible. A lot of times we'll even do it before the first. And guys, forgive me, people are still joining here, so I'm just letting them in. Um, but it is a new beginning, right? It's a particular place where you have a good starting point, good stopping point, a good starting point. My dad used to say all the time, Bill, any day can be the first day of the rest of your life. And there was not much more truth than that, right? I mean, you could make that choice to make any day the first day of the rest of your life. And that's the good news about, what we do. But, the end of the year, the new year, we have new feelings. We're kind of refreshed. Something's over. It's like, the ball game's over. And regardless of what the score was, whether you won or whether you lost, the game's over. And there's always the next game, right? And from every ending comes a new beginning. So we close down this chapter of 2023. Now we have the authority, right? And if you think about that word authority, it has the word author right in it, right? We have the authority to author the new year, right? The next chapter of this book of our lives. We have the authority to do that. And that always gets me excited, right? That always gets me fired. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter. I can learn from what's happened up to this point. but now we move forward. And guys, I want you to know that in my life, I never lose, right? I never lose. I always win or I learn, but I never lose. Because if you didn't get to where you wanted to be, then you've learned something. And sometimes it's better that you don't because you learn more by failing than you do by winning sometimes. Okay. So, it's a good thing. You have to be able to accept those. But now we have this new beginning. And here's where most of society goes, okay, here's my New Year's resolution, right? I resolve to do whatever, lose weight, quit smoking, eat healthier, be better in my finances, make more money this year, have a better relationship, strengthen my faith, whatever it is, right? This is where they resolve to do that. And I want to tell you a story. My daughter, who happens to be on here tonight, Kylie Guyther, when she was about 12 years old, she's 21 now, just so you guys know. And when she was about 12, I remember we were driving somewhere, and a girl, one of the youth leaders from our church, called my wife's cell phone and said she wanted to talk to Kylie. And it was a New Year's time, and we got Kylie on the phone, and all I could hear was Kylie's side when she was on the phone in the back of the car. Um, but obviously, the lady was asking her about, hey, do you have any New Year's resolutions? And at 12 years old, my daughter responded and said, I don't really set resolutions, I set goals. And I remember thinking to myself, 12 years old, man, I've been hammering this for 12 years of this kid's life. And all of a sudden, she got it. I knew she had it right. She said, I don't really do resolutions, I set goals. And what is the difference? Is there a difference between a resolution and a goal? And in my opinion, the answer to that is absolutely. There's a huge difference, right? You can resolve to do something. Hey, this is what I'm going to lose 50 pounds, right? That's what I resolved to do. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. And that's a resolution. But a goal is that resolution, right? That goal that you set that you now put together a plan to achieve. And that's why this is not just a goal setting session. This is a goal achieving session because we're going to talk about not only the goal, but the steps that it's going to take for you to achieve whatever that goal is, right? So and what I can tell you is as you know what your steps are in trying to reach a goal, you can focus on the activities to get to each one of those steps and celebrate each one of those steps as an individual little win. And if you have a whole bunch of little wins along the way, you're going to have the big win at the end. And that's the way it's going to work every single time. Okay. With a resolution, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, and you're out there and you're jumping on the scale every day, and you lost 1 pound after not eating anything all day yesterday. And you get so frustrated because you didn't get to the result, right? You weren't focusing on the activity that was going to get you to that result and celebrating the wins of those activities along the way. And that's a big difference. So to me, there's a huge difference in a resolution and a goal. Now, in most cases, for most people, there's 4 areas in your life that you're going to want to set goals. Okay. Your first one is your faith. You're going to want to set goals in your faith. And it doesn't matter what you believe in. I'm not here to preach to you, but most all of you probably have some type of a faith in something, right? So that's usually the first area. The second one is your family, right? Family or relationships. That you're going to want to strengthen those things. So you want to focus on all areas of your life because our lives are these 4 things I'm telling you. It's really a stool with 4 legs, right? It's hard to sit on a stool with less than 4 legs, maybe 3, right? But you ever try to sit on a 2-legged stool or a 1-legged stool? You're not going to be very comfortable, right? You're going to have a hard time. So these are the 4 legs that you have to focus on all of them. So your first one is faith, the second one is family, third one is finances, right? Finances. And people say things like, money can't buy you happiness, or money's the root of all evil, or those kinds of things. I mean, typically those people are broke and they're trying to make themselves feel good about not having any money, right? So they're trying to, comfort themselves in such a, guys, there's nothing wrong with making money. When you hear that phrase, the root of money is the root of all evil, that's a misquoted Bible verse. right? It's actually the love of money is the root of all evil. But making money, there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I encourage it. I want you guys to go out and make money because here's what I know. Money just makes you more of who you are, right? If you're a good person, you're a caring person, you're a giving person, and you come into a lot of money, you're going to be more good, more caring, more giving, right? But if you're evil and you have a bad agenda and you don't like people and you're kind of a jerk, guess what? You're going to be all those things even more if you get money. So money just makes you more of who you are. So we want you to go make money because we know that you guys that are on here, you're all the first, right? The former, not the latter of the two that I just talked about. And we know that you're going to give freely and you're going to, do for others. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can't convince me that if you make more money than you can spend and you're giving it to, shelters and nonprofits and people that raise money to help others or, whatever, help somebody in need. I mean, what is wrong with that? Nothing. Okay. So faith, family, finance, and the last one is fitness, right? Your health, right? I'm not talking about fitness chip in your mouth because that was last year, right? Okay. I'm talking about paying attention to the things that you eat and when you eat them and all that kind of stuff and exercising and your health. Because what good is making a whole lot of money and having a whole lot of time and having a bunch of things in this world and then you die when you're 55 or 45, right? It doesn't make sense. And I'm preaching to the choir. I mean, one of my things this year that I'm going to focus on heavily is going to be my health because I've spent the last 25 years on the faith, the family, and the finance. I mean, really, I have. I've been sitting on a three-legged stool for the last 25 years. My health has been a low priority. It's been something that I'm like, I can deal with that later. I got to make sure the mortgage is paid and my family is fed and that God knows that I'm there and all the things that we talked about up to this one. But your health it's really just as important as any of the other three. I don't think any one of them is any more important than the other. I mean, faith, I think, obviously, because faith can take you all kinds of places. So faith, family, finance, and fitness. All right, those are the main. Now you may have other areas of your life that that you want to set goals in, but that's the four main ones. Now, here's the thing. I've already used this word once, but you want to be intentional. I have a lot of people in all the different things I've done over the years, and I succeed at a lot of stuff, although I've had failures in my life for sure and started businesses that ended up not working out or somebody else, did it better or whatever. But I've heard the phrase a lot of people tell me all the time, man, you're the luckiest person I know, right? You're so lucky, right? I've had people accuse me of having a horseshoe stuck up my butt before. I literally have had that happen, right? They're like, oh, you're so lucky. And it's, the whole phrase, the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? That really stands true because I just work hard. I just go after it with everything I can, but I go after it with intention, right? And that's a big key, guys. And this is a big part of why goal setting is so important, is because it's going to give you the intention of what you intend to accomplish. For years I've said to people, if I give you a bow and an arrow and I tell you to shoot a bullseye, what's the one thing that you have to have in order to accomplish that feat? And you can answer or not answer.
A target.
A target. You have to have the bullseye, right? If I give you a bow and arrow and I tell you to shoot a bullseye, if you don't have a bullseye to shoot, you can't accomplish that feat. And trying to, go out and accomplish something in life without having your goals, readily and clearly in place, it's like trying to shoot a bullseye without a target, without having that bullseye. And that's what, I really want to help bring you. And I really hope by the time we're done here tonight, not only are you going to have your goals, really started, but you're going to have them good and started. And you may want to go back and tweak them and do some, but by the time we get done tonight, you're going to have a really good start on your goals for this year. So be very intentional. Now, here's some things about setting goals that you need to know. Number one is, this is properly setting goals, the way I've been taught over the years that has worked tremendous for me and my family and the people I've taught and stuff like that. Okay. Number one, your goals need to be written. Okay. Written, not typed, not put into an app on your phone or a Word document on your computer. You need to go old school and you need to get a notebook, right? If you don't have one already, go buy a new notebook for 2024 and sit down and write your goals down. Okay. I promise you, I can't give you the logistics of why it works or how it works, but here's what I can tell you is when you have that thought of what your goal is, what you intend to accomplish, and you let that thought run through your body and into your arm and into your hand and onto that pen, and that pen transfers it to a piece of paper, that thought just became a real physical thing, a tangible item now. Okay. If you just type it in, that's still not a tangible item. You haven't given it life yet. So you got to write it down. There's something about that process that it literally comes out of your mind, a thought, all the way out to this pen and onto this piece of paper. And now you have a tangible, real, living item that you're working towards. All right. So number one, it's got to be written. Okay. Number two, it needs to be in present tense, like you've already accomplished it. Right. So if I want to lose 50 pounds, it's like, I am 50 pounds lighter. I am 50, right? It's not I will lose or I'm going to lose. It's I am. And something that I've learned along with my faith part of all of this, and again, not trying to be preachy, this is just me and things that help drive me. But in the Bible, God is referred to as the great what? The great I am. Right? The great I am. So when you write something, in my mind, when you write something in a present tense and you say, I am 50 pounds lighter, you're including God in that thought. You're including God in that goal. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little crazy, but to me, having God on your side, it can never hurt. It can never be a downside. Okay. So, so it needs to be written. It needs to be present tense. Okay. It needs to be very clear and specific. All right, guys, let me tell you that. Put a star next to this one, okay? Very clear and specific, right? You say, this year, I'm going to get me a Cadillac, right? And you just keep saying, I'm going to get me a Cadillac. I'm going to get me a Cadillac. I'm going to get me a Cadillac. And then all of a sudden, something happens, and this is the way the universe or God, or whatever you want to call it, works, right? It's crazy. It never goes the way you think it's going to go, right? You just kept saying, I want to get me a Cadillac. I'm going to get me a Cadillac. And then all of a sudden, boom, you crash into somebody that's driving a Cadillac, and now you own the Cadillac. Okay? You got to be clear. You got to be specific about what it is that you really want. Here's a real true story. A few years back, again, I was this time of year, I'm focusing on my health, and I'm like, I'm going to lose 60 pounds. I was 360 pounds at the height. And I was like, I'm going to lose 60 pounds. And sure enough, man, right by the end of the year, matter of fact, we were putting up Christmas decorations. And my wife goes, have you lost some weight? And I'm like, no, I've been eating like 3 people all the way through the holidays, right? I was like, no, I haven't lost any weight. She's like, you look like you've lost some weight. You should get on the scales. Well, sure enough, I get on the scales and I'm like 295. Right? I've lost like 65 pounds. But then I started noticing some other stuff, like my eyesight was starting to mess up and I was using the bathroom all the time and then da. And then I find out from a hospital visit where things just kept going downhill that I was a diabetic. Right? See, all I said was I was going to lose 60 pounds. I wasn't very clear, very specific on how I was going to lose that 60 pounds. And if you're really dead set on it, guys, and if you're really focused on it, like I'm going to do this no matter what, hell or high water, I'm going to make this happen. The universe or God or whoever you want to call it is going to make it happen. I mean, there's going to be a reaction to that thought and to that determination in your head. And if you don't have it very clear and specific how it's going to go, it's not going to go the way that you were thinking. So very clear, very specific. Has to have a deadline attached to it. Okay? has to have a deadline attached to it. Back to my diabetic story. At the beginning of that year, I said, I'm going to lose 60 pounds by December 31st. It's whatever year it was, 2020, 2019, 2018, whatever it was, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So it needs to be that clear and specific, with your deadline, right? And I absolutely had my deadline on it. And guess what? My goal happened by my deadline. It just didn't happen the way I would have pictured it or wanted it to happen. Okay. So, a proper goal, having said all that it's written down and that it's very clear and specific, it's in present tense, has a deadline attached, it would sound something like this. I am 50 pounds lighter because I went to the gym 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day by December 31st, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern, right? That is a very clear, very specific, had an activity, that's the last one, have activity focused, okay? Have activity focused goals, and they'll help you with the results. And there's a difference in activity focused goals and results focused goals, right? The problem with results focused goals is if you don't get to that result in a time that you thought was acceptable, you get frustrated and you quit. This is why so many people go to the gym starting January 1, for the first 90 days of the year, maybe. You can't even get in the local gyms. And then, after that, you could fire a cannon through one and you wouldn't hurt anybody, right? It's because they're results oriented, right? They're not being activity oriented. And here's what I mean. Let me go back to my goal I just gave you, right? I am 50 pounds lighter because I went to the gym 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day by December 31st, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Now, in that goal, what is the activity that I really need to focus on? Is it being 50 pounds lighter? No, it's being at the gym 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day, right? And here's why this is so important. Because now I can celebrate the win of doing the activity, even though I have not yet achieved the goal. Are you guys catching this? Because this is big, right? I can go to the gym. I'm going 5 days a week. So I go to the gym on Monday for 30 minutes and I can come home and I can feel good. And I can say, you know what? I reached my goal today. I was at the gym for 30 minutes, just like I said. Good job, Bill. And tomorrow I can go to the gym, right? Same thing. Maybe Wednesday, I just don't feel like going to the gym. Right? I'm not feeling it. I'm tired. I'm feeling a little under the weather, got a little headache, right? I could come up with a million excuses why I can't go to the gym that day. But I go anyway, right? And then I can come home and I can really celebrate that win. And I can be proud of myself because I did it even when I didn't want to do it. And let me tell you something, guys, and this is just some free advice. When you really don't want to is when you really have to the most. Okay? I'm just telling you, when you really don't want to, that's the time you got to go. All right? All right, I'm just going to power through it and I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to tell you, as soon as you've done it, you'll feel like $1,000,000. Right? And you can celebrate that win because you knew how much you didn't want to do it. How much I just almost threw in the towel today. But you didn't, you did it, you accomplished it, you can celebrate that win. And now, because you're celebrating, this win, all these little small wins along the way, there's the result win is inevitable, right? It has to happen. You can't win every step along the way and then lose at the end. It doesn't work that way. So you just have to keep focused on those little steps, okay? So make sure you're activity focused and not results focused. All right. So here's what I want to do real quick. I want to just give you guys 60 seconds. We want to go back to our first talk about the four areas: faith, family, finance, and fitness. Okay. Faith, family, finance, and fitness. I want to give you guys 60 seconds to write down one goal for your faith in 2024. Okay. One goal for your faith in 2024. Remember, it needs to be written, it needs to be present tense, it needs to be very clear and specific, and uh, it needs to have a deadline attached and be activity focused. So again, a good example, in the faith, and I'm just making something up, is, you know, I will walk or I am walking closer with God because I spend 15 minutes a day in the Bible by June 30th, 2024 at 12 noon. Okay, something along those lines. Make sure it's very clear, very specific. Make sure it's present tense. Make sure it's got the deadline attached to it and it's activity oriented. And get one written down, just one faith goal that you'd like to accomplish this year. Okay, and then for those of you that are ahead of the game, we're going to do the next one for your family. Okay, I want you to go ahead and write down one goal for all those four things. Okay, one for your faith, one for your family, one for your finances, and one for your fitness or your health. Now, let me say another thing while you guys are writing this down is put a little bit of fear in yourself with your goals. Now, don't make it so over the top that you just can't even see that it's possible. But make it where you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone a little bit. Another great way to write your goals is to use the phrase, I am so happy and grateful that. Okay. It's a great phrase. I am so happy and grateful that. And then you can keep on going. Right. I am so happy and grateful that I am 50 pounds lighter because I went to the gym 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day by December 31st, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Right. Strong phrase, though. You should definitely write that phrase down. I am so happy and grateful that. Let's just get at least one goal written down. Susan says, thank you for this goals session. I have a team Zoom, so I need to hop off. Happy New Year. Thank you, Susan. Happy New Year. All right. We'll give it like another 60 seconds and then we'll move on. And we'll get wrapped up here, guys, just so you know, in the next 15 minutes. I mean, I'm going to keep this to about 45 minutes or less. So give it about another 30 seconds. All right. Everybody got your four, at least one of each? Would anybody like to or be open to reading one of your four so we could just talk about it and see what it looks like and sounds like? If so, just unmute yourself and speak up.
Hi, Bill. I would like
Hey,
to
Kristen.
contribute to the
Okay.
faith one. Um, I would like to be more intentional with doing my devotions and building my relationship with Jesus every day.
Okay. So how did you, is that exactly what you wrote as your goal?
Yeah,
All right. So let's talk about how we can make that goal even stronger.
sure.
Okay. So let's first off start it with either I am so happy and grateful that, or just simply I am. Okay. So just write I am. Now tell me your ultimate goal again there. So you wanted to strengthen your,
The way that I actually wrote it is build my daily relationship with Jesus by doing my devotional.
okay. So I am much stronger with Jesus by doing my devotional each day for 15 minutes by December 31st or whatever. Okay. But make sure that it's so clear and concise that there's no question about, look, this is what I intend to do, and this is how I intend to get it done, and this is when it's going to be done by. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Right. And just keep that strong, guys, because after we get all these down, I'm going to teach you guys how to really utilize them uh, to your benefit. Anybody else got one you want to share before we move on? You don't have to, but
Yeah, Bill, this is Phyllis.
okay.
Fitness. I am so happy and grateful that I completed 10,000 steps every day between January 1st and December 31st of 2024 at 10 p.m. on December 31st.
Let's see. Did you guys catch that? That was strong, right? Very strong. And she didn't say nothing about how much weight she was going to lose, what size her dress was going to be. None of that was important. She was focused on, I'm going to get these 10,000 steps, right? And that's a daily win that you can celebrate every day, and it will keep you coming back because you won yesterday and you know you can win again today. And nobody likes to lose. Nobody likes it when they don't get to where they want to be. It can become very frustrating, and that's what causes people to quit. So just get focused on that activity, and it's so much better. Um, your subconscious mind. Now that we're doing this, I want you guys to know the power of your subconscious mind. My daughter, I'm putting all her business out there, but it just happened, so I have to tell you guys. And she just happens to be on here tonight. If she wasn't on here, I'd just be telling you. She wouldn't even know. But the other day, she has a friend that they haven't spoken a while, and she said, I was just like thinking about this friend of mine. We hadn't talked in a year or two, whatever it's been. And she's like, I sat down and I'm sending a text message to my friend, just saying, hey, it's been a while. And as I'm sending the text message, her friend called her. The friend that she's sending the text message to right now that she hadn't talked to in a year or two. Right? Has that ever happened? Something like that ever happened to any of you guys? Like you just think of somebody that you hadn't talked to in a while and they call you like the next day. And you're like, dude, I was just thinking about you yesterday. Right? Or something crazy like that. Okay. This is the power of your subconscious mind. Thoughts are things. You need to understand that. Okay. If you haven't watched the movie ever or in a while called The Secret, you need to go and watch this movie like tonight, tomorrow. You can find it on YouTube these days. It's just called The Secret. It's about an hour and a half documentary movie kind of thing about thoughts and the power of thoughts. And I'm going to tell you that movie, when it came out 15 years ago or whatever it's been, changed my whole life. Changed my whole life. I'm telling you guys, changed my whole life. If you have never seen the movie The Secret, Go find it on YouTube or Netflix or wherever you can find it and watch it. Okay? Because thoughts are things. As a matter of fact, in a doctor's office or hospital, they can put those electrodes on your head. They do it with athletes and stuff when they're working out. And when there's a thought, there's an electronic pulse that can be recognized. Right? You can see it on the screen, bleep, 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 right? Like a heartbeat. So when you have a thought, something goes out somewhere, to God, to the universe, to somewhere. And the universe is always going to respond to that. Now, a whole nother training is how you think, right? You always want to think about what it is that you want, not what you don't want. Right? So you're saying, man, I don't want all these bills. You're still focusing on bills, and guess what you're going to get? More bills. Okay, so you don't focus on what you want. Here's a great phrase for you just to write down that I must say in my head, 50 to 100 times a day, probably. Money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. It's just a thought that I have in my head all the time. Money comes easily and frequently. And guess what? It just starts showing up. It'll start showing up because that thought is there. So your subconscious mind is powerful. So once you have all your goals written down, then you want to make copies of them and you want to post them like everywhere you're going to be all the time, right? Put a screenshot on your cover page on your phone. Stick some up on the dash in your car. Hang one on the refrigerator door. Put one on the mirror in the bathroom. My daughter's on here. She'll tell you I'm not as bad today as I used to be. But when she was a kid growing up, this time of year, our goals were posted everywhere. You open the refrigerator, they'd be hanging in the refrigerator. Right? Everywhere we turn, my goals will be right there in my face. In my face, reminding me, this is your goal. This is what you're working on. Okay? Hold yourself accountable. So post them everywhere. Declare them. Declare them. Tell them to your family. Tell them to your friends. Post them on Facebook. Send me a copy of them if you want to. Declare them from the mountaintops. This is my goals. This is my intentions. This is what will be done. Because then it's not just your own thoughts. Now you got it out there in the world and people are looking. Right? Now they're watching. Is he going to do it? Is he really going to lose 50 pounds? Is he really going to, start spending more time in the Bible? Is he really going to, make this kind of money this year? Whatever. So declare that. Put yourself out there. Now, here's the one, though. This is a Bill Guyther original that I figured out years ago. Nobody ever told me to do this. I just started figuring the power of your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is what you know you're doing. Your subconscious mind is just things that you do naturally and you don't even think about it, right? And once I understood that once something went from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, and it just became something that happened on the regular, on the normal, I was like, well, how do I get things from there to there, right? Out of the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. And here's what I did. I wrote all my goals, and then I affirmed them goals verbally by recording them on my cell phone, right? Me reading my own goals in present tense and recording them on my cell phone. And then I just listened to them until I could just recite them, right? Just let it play when you go to bed at night. Put your earbud in and let it play, or turn it on quietly in the background on your computer when you're at your house, or play it on your phone in your car instead of listening to the radio as you're going down the road, and just have it over and over and over again, affirming your goals to you in your mind, right? Because your mind is programmable. Matter of fact, you are who you are today because of the programming that it's received to date. Right? Where do we get that programming? We got it from friends and family members and neighbors and television and school teachers and all everything that we are today, we are because we were programmed to be to that point. Here's the great thing about success in any area of your life. You simply need to program yourself to succeed there. Right? Just get that program in there. So you post those goals, you declare those goals, and then you record yourself affirming those goals, and you just listen to it over and over. And I'm going to tell you something. over the years, when I've told people about this recording yourself and listen to it over and over and over again, there's been a handful that really took me serious and did it. And let me tell you, I always get a phone call from those people going, Bill, you're not going to believe this. I've been listening to those goals, affirming those goals. And then guess what just happened today? And guess what just happened today? And guess what just happened today? Okay. Here's the thing. Success is voluntary, right? It is a voluntary thing. And you have to volunteer to be successful, which means you have to voluntarily do the things it's going to take to be successful. So these things that I'm recommending to you, I can't make you do it. I'm not your boss. I ain't firing you if you don't. But if you want to get out of the rat race and you want to really free yourself and you want to really take control of your life and you want to succeed at your goals, you will take this stuff that we're talking about to heart, and you will take this learned knowledge and you will turn it into, implement it into activity knowledge, right? Applied knowledge. I think I've covered everything. Last thing, I just want to say this and then we'll open it up. We can have an annual goal, right? A yearly goal, something you want to accomplish by the end of this year. You can have a 6-month goal. You can have a 1-month goal. You can have a weekly goal. But your success in anything comes down to what I like to call the a day factor, right? It's what you do every day that matters, right? It's an apple a day keeps the doctors away, right? An apple a day. It's not 7 apples on Saturday. And you eat 7 apples on Saturday, you probably get a bellyache and have to go to the doctor, right? That's different. So it's the a day factor. And most of the things that you're trying to do in your life are going to have a daily something that you're supposed to do, a daily activity, right? Maybe you'll have a weekly activity or maybe even a monthly activity that you need to do. But it's the daily things, right? The things that you seem to do that make no difference at all in the act of doing them, but compounded over time will lead to your success or your failure, right? A great example is, my friend Brian that's on here. If he goes to the gym today and I don't go to the gym today, there's not going to be a big difference in me and Brian today. If he goes tomorrow and I don't go tomorrow, still no difference. A month from now, he's been going every day, and I don't go. Not a big difference. 6 months from now, though, he's been going to the gym every day and I haven't. We're going to start to see a difference. A year from now, he's going to the gym every day for 365 days straight and I haven't gone at all. There's going to be a big difference in me and him, right? So it's the little things that you do that seem to make no difference at all in the act of doing them, right? Daily, but compounded over time will lead to your success or your failure, right? So as you're setting these goals, make sure that you break them down to what you need to do every day. And then just do it every day. Don't worry about 2 days from now or a week from now. Just make sure that you know what I have to do tomorrow and you get up tomorrow and you do it. And then you celebrate the fact that you got it done. And you go to bed and you get up the next day and you do it again. And you go to bed and you get up the next day and you do it again. And don't worry about that result, because I can promise you, if you meet your daily goals, you're going to meet your weekly goals. And if you meet your weekly goals, you're going to meet your monthly goals. And if you meet your monthly goals, you're going to meet your yearly goal. And it's all inevitable. You just have to do it one day at a time. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. It is 9 o'clock, so I'm going to be done here, but I will open it up. If anybody has anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to share, we will open it up right now. You can just unmute yourself and speak up. And once we're done talking with everybody, we'll wrap this up. So anybody with anything? No?
I just like to say thank you, Bill, for leading us in this exercise. It's I've got several pages of notes and I had my pen on turbo the whole time. So thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. I appreciate that. Again, you guys just have to unmute yourself. Just tap your screen and hit the microphone if you want to speak up, so we can hear you. Anybody else with anything else?
I just wanted to say thank you for this Zoom call. The two words that I've picked out for my 2024 is authenticity and intentionality. I need to show up more on the daily grind and making my business a successful one. And you've definitely helped with all of this, so thank you very much.
My pleasure. I hope I've helped clarify and helped you see it a little clearer and helped you see that, it may look like a big goal, but on a daily, it really is not that much to accomplish each day, right? So that helps you attain it a little bit better, I hope. All right. Anybody else with anything else? Just unmute yourself and speak up.
Bill, I enjoyed all that and enjoyed it gave me a lot to think about on my goals. And I've been trying to lose weight since last June, and it has been an everyday journey. I've had some ups and I've had some downs, but it's an everyday thing. So thank you
Yep.
very much
And
for
I'm
all
with you.
that.
So maybe we need to partner up, which is never a bad thing, guys, to find somebody that has similar goals to you and partner up and hold each other accountable to it. But I'm the same way, David. I've been up and down, up and down. So maybe we need to partner up, come up with a good plan, and hold each other accountable to it.
That sounds good, buddy. We're not far apart, that's for sure.
That's exactly right. All right. Anybody else or anything else before we wrap it up? Going once, going twice. All right, guys. Well, listen, I really hope that this helps you get your new year started right. I hope that it helps you, continue right. Remember, I don't know if you heard the beginning of this. Somebody was saying, "How's your new year going?" I said, "Man, it's going great so far." And here's the deal: is all we got to do is keep it going great so far, one day at a time. Right? You just keep it going great today, keep it going great tomorrow, keep it going great the next day, one day at a time, because you can't win, and then lose in the end. If you just win all the way across the board, you're going to win in the end. And there's no way around that. So with that, Happy New Year. Get those goals tightened up, get them written down, get them posted, get them recorded, and get them into your subconscious mind. And you'll be amazed at what you can do in the next 12 months. You guys stay focused, feel good, and bye-bye for now.
Good night.
Good night.